Alright, let's address the bear in the room. Can we actually become financially independent by the age of 30? Yes. If so, then we should have started working on this goal yesterday. And I say we because I'm in this together with you. Look, it doesn't even matter if you're close to 30 and you would say that you cannot achieve this by the age of 30. But what you can do is to take those principles of becoming financially independent and apply them, and then you would achieve the goal a couple of years later. All that matters are the principles and that you achieve the goal in the end. So here's how this video is going to be structured. First, we're going to talk about how is this actually possible. Then in part 2, we're going to focus on the how to do it. And lastly, we're going to finish the video with a conclusion. Let's start with part 1 and how is this even possible. We'll go over a few basics and then we'll dive into a real life example so you can have a better idea of how to figure things out for yourself. But to begin with, welcome to Financial Independence, Retire Early, and the power of the 4% rule. Nowadays, more than ever, this goal is achievable because access to information and low-cost investing is accessible for anyone in almost all corners of the world. In order to achieve this goal, we basically need only two things. The first one is enough savings to cover our projected monthly or yearly expenses, and the second thing is an investing strategy that's going to produce returns of about 7 to 8% per year. Those two things are basically all we need to know in order to set the goal and have a target that we have to achieve. But before we go on to the how to and the nitty-gritty of how to do it, I would encourage you to pause the video and think about how much would you like to be able to spend every single month in order to have a comfortable life. Now, it might be more than you are currently spending, and that's why I encourage you to think in terms of how much you would like to be able to spend and not how much you are spending right now. Alright, now that you have an idea of how much you would like to be able to spend every single month, now we can get into the nitty-gritty and determine how much we actually need. So by the time you finish this video, you can live with a goal to hit for your retirement or for you to be able to retire at 30 years old. The first thing that you need to do is to take those projected monthly expenses and then multiply them by 300. Why 300, you might ask? Well, first you need to multiply the monthly expenses by 12 to get the annual expenses, and then in order to apply the 4% rule, you will multiply the annual expenses by 25. And that's going to give you the total amount that you need in order to have invested so that you can live off basically forever from that nest egg. Now, the 4% rule is the safe withdrawal rate, and it is the amount that you can basically withdraw every single year from your nest egg to use as expenses without running out of money. Because if the portfolio is going to grow at 7 to 8%, then you can withdraw safely 4% and the rest is going to take care of compounding, at least with the rate of inflation. If that sounded confusing, let's take an example based on my projected expenses so that you can have a better idea how easily it is to come up with the numbers. So my planned monthly expenses are in the range between $800 to $1,000. That means that my yearly projected expenses are in the range of $9,600 to $12,000. Now, if I multiply the projected annual expenses by 25, I basically get how much I need to grow my nest egg before I can start withdrawing from it. And the number is going to be between $240,000 to $300,000. The reason that I said that you can just multiply them by 300 is that you can just take the monthly expenses and multiply them by 300 and you'll see that you get the same numbers. So if you did this with me, congratulations, now you have your goal to hit and you have the number that you need to grow your nest egg to in order to be able to become financially independent. Now let's move on and talk about the investing strategy that we can use in order to basically ensure that we get at least 7 to 8% compounded annual return. Like I said, this is the easiest part of the process. The easiest way to ensure that we are going to get about a 7 to 8% annual compounded growth rate for the next decade is to invest in index funds or ETFs. You have a broad array of index funds and of ETFs that you can invest in, and you are free to do your own due diligence to find the best ones. But investing in an ETF or an index fund that tracks the S&P 500 index or the total stock market index is enough to generate the returns that we talked about. Investing in the S&P 500 index fund or in the total stock market index fund is the way to go for 99% of the people. And this is the way that Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, recommends that people who do not analyze businesses on a regular basis actually do their investing. In order to invest in index funds, you do not need any investing knowledge at all. You do not have to analyze any business. You do not have to do anything besides contribute to the fund that you choose or the ETF that you choose. So like I said, Warren Buffett encourages everyone to bet on America and invest in the S&P 500 index, like the SPY by State Street, which is going to have a low expense ratio, or the VOO version provided by Vanguard. The annual average compounded rate of return for an index fund tracking the S&P 500 index like SPY or VOO was 13.5% for the past 10 years. That's almost double our projected 7 to 8% return. To give you a perspective of what that means, if you invest $10,000 with a monthly contribution of $500 over 10 years, you'd roughly have $165,000 at the end of the 10 years. This is a very conservative investing plan. I mean, depending on your income, this can be anywhere from 10% to 40% of your income. The best strategy to use to deploy money into those index funds is to just dollar cost average every single month. Pick a date every single month that you are going to contribute to the fund and just forget about it. Put it on automatic withdrawal or automatic deposit, and then money will simply flow from your checking account to your investing account and into the fund. You simply choose a date like the 13th of every month, and then you simply invest on that day no matter what the price is. This will ensure that you get an average price and you buy more shares when the market is trading at a discount, and you buy less shares when it's trading at a premium. But on the average, you are going to have a steady increase in gains over time. Now let's focus on how we can achieve this at 30 years old. This is the not so glamorous part of the process. In order to be able to achieve this at 30 years old, or at least or in less than 10 years, we have to do things a little bit different than anyone else. The first thing that we gotta do is to start as early as possible. Like I said, we should have started yesterday. We should give us at least 5 to 10 years to achieve this goal, because this is a worthwhile and big goal, and it's going to require a lot of capital, and it's going to require a lot of time to be able to consistently work towards it. Starting early will give you a longer investing time frame for your money to compound later in life, and it's also going to give us the ability to have a lot of earning power in the future, and is going to capture a lot of our earning power in the early years. The second thing that we got to do is to save between 50 to 80% of our income. I know 80% sounds insane. Even for me, it's a lot to save 80% of your income. Like, it's almost impossible, but there are people that are very determined to achieve this goal, and I've seen many people able to pull something like this off. And when saving 80% of the income, you basically retire in 5 years or less. At 50%, is going to take about 10 to 12 years to be able to achieve something like this. And I say 10 and not 15 because over this period of time, over these 10 years, you are going to increase your earning power. You are going to earn more every single year. And with the income increase, you can increase your savings rate if you maintain a similar lifestyle, and you are basically speeding up the process by saving more and more every single year. So considering this income growth, you are basically going to be able to pull this off at 50 to 60% savings rate in about 7 to 10 years. There are various ways in which you can speed up the process, but the main things that we can do is to increase our income or decrease our expenses. But here are a few things that I try to do myself to speed up the process. One of the things is that I try during my free time to generate additional income and then save that income and put it to work for me. I have not been very successful at doing this over the past year, but hopefully I will be able to generate additional income this year during my free time and then save the difference, and in this way I am basically increasing my savings rate as a result, and I'm able to grow that nest egg faster. Remember, the sooner you invest a certain amount of money, the more it's going to compound over time and it's going to grow into a bigger pile over the years. The second thing that I'm planning to do is that after I become financially independent, to pursue something that I'm interested in, which will hopefully generate additional income into the future. I'm not doing this to stay on the couch and watch Netflix every single day or to basically become a couch potato. I mean, how much time can you spend on a beach with a coffee in hand and do nothing? Like, come on. I will get extremely bored doing nothing every single day and not having any progress on a day-to-day basis. I will go nuts. I mean, there are plenty of ways in which you can grow your income or decrease your expenses. Those are the two things that I'm going to implement myself, and those two hopefully will cut additional years required for me to achieve the goal and basically speed up the process. Look, it's an incredible achievement to be able to pull something like this by 30 years old. But you gotta know, why are you doing this? Because otherwise the process is going to be bumpy and it's going to be unpleasant. You gotta ask yourself, why do you want to achieve this? What it is that makes you want to become financially independent by 30 years old or 35. If you do not know why you want to do it, you will not know why the sacrifice will be worth, because you will have to sacrifice a couple of things in order to be able to pull this off by this age. Here's why I would like to do it, because I would like to be able to do whatever I want to, whenever I want to, and I would like to have freedom of movement, freedom of being able to work from any corner of the world, being able to spend more time with the loved ones whenever I want to be able to travel during certain seasons where certain places are not as crowded and things like this. I do this because I want to have the option of doing the things that I already mentioned. Not that I would certainly do all the things all at once, or that I will just move to another country and start working from there. But I want to have the option to be able to do it. I also want to spend more time to accelerate my path to mastery in the areas that are of deep interest to me. So as you can see, I have a couple of reasons why I want to achieve this, and I'm pretty sure that you can come up with a couple for yourself. Alright everyone, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it useful. If you did so, all I ask you is to please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and until next time, take care, have a wonderful day, and don't forget that you are amazing.